Hey, welcome to the Ready to Lose podcast, where we look at what's going on in our brains to create the health and weight loss that we want. My name's Billy Blake, and I'm a certified life and weight loss coach determined to help women love themselves all the way to their goal. It's time to start losing weight in a way that actually feels like us and creating that healthy life that we love showing up for every single day. So tell me, are you ready to lose? Let's go. Hey, ready babes. Welcome back to the podcast where we are done with dieting and we are losing weight for the last freaking time. And we are officially in the last 2 episodes of 2025, y'all. Like, what? Side note, have you made a vision board yet? I have all my pictures printed out and I am ready to sit down and freaking do it. I'm ready to make it. But with the holidays, it's feeling a little rushed. We still got a little time. So I am going to wait until I have an evening that is chill, not a lot going on, where I can sit down with all my crafting materials and just dream. I also use my photos that I saved from myself over the years, which is a pro tip. If you're going to make a vision board, make sure you have photos of yourself on there too. It just makes it more real when you can see yourself on the board with the things you want to be creating. But I also use those pics and the pics from Pinterest to make a phone wallpaper and a desktop wallpaper. Basically, I just never want to give myself the chance to forget what I want and what I'm working towards. Keep myself focused. So if you are not a vision board girly or you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend trying it. Keep it chill and simple. Throw some things out there. You never know what could happen. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I used to be really afraid of dreaming. I didn't think I was. I just would go blank. I'm like, what do I want to do? No answers would come up. And it is because I was so afraid, because for years I felt like I was dreaming and I kept seeing it not happen. The ironic thing is we do that, of course, right? My brain stopped giving me answers because it felt scary to dream, because what if it doesn't happen? Well, guess what? If you don't put anything out there, it definitely isn't going to happen. So you're not saving yourself that pain or discomfort anyway. You never know what could happen. You might as well give yourself the chance to go for it, which of course, a vision board isn't necessarily the answer to everything, but it is something that can help you visualize what you want to be doing. Whether you're a vision board girly or not, this episode is going to be an eye-opener and really help you create possibility for 2026. So if you don't love vision boards, that's okay. We've got you here. Because today we're talking about the things that you're saying about yourself or believing about your goal that you really need to let go of if you want 2026 to feel and look different than 2025 or any year in the past, basically all the other years. For me, all these years used to feel the same. They did for a long time. I would set a goal, list out my resolutions every new year, and then by December, I'd sit down and look back and wonder, what happened? I really wanted to lose weight. I had all the goals. I had the ideas of how to do it. I probably tried some things too. I did some diets. I did some workouts. But another year went by and I felt like I was in the exact same spot. I was exactly where I started. And maybe I did do some other cool things or achieved other goals. But when it came to weight loss and when it came to my food choices, that always felt like it stayed the same. I hear this from women all the time, that I figure out these other things, but I can't figure out what's going on with my food choices, with my weight loss. There is a reason why this happens. Most women don't keep overeating because they don't know what to do. And heck, what I just told you about what I went through was a perfect example of that. I had all the things listed out that I could do differently. I knew calories in versus calories out, eat less, move more, vegetables are good for me. I know that stuff. I even knew certain diets, what they were doing and what that would look like. That wasn't the problem. I kept overeating because of what I was believing about myself. You see so many women keeping themselves stuck about what they're secretly saying to themselves. These are the thoughts that sneak in when it's feeling hard. Really, these beliefs, you might be thinking, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to lose weight. This year is going to be different. But these beliefs will sneak in when you actually need to believe in yourself the most. That is when you will have these thoughts come in that set you back. These stories show up and they quietly sabotage you, keeping you right where you always are, in your comfort zone, in the area that you are in. That's why I start January, I have all these good intentions. In December, I'm exactly where I started. This is the other side of the coin that you've been missing, the part that makes those actions and goals possible. It's great to know what you should do, but it doesn't mean anything if you can't get yourself to do it, if you can't get yourself to start it and keep going with it. So let's get into it. The beliefs that you need to let go of if you want 2026 to finally feel different. First one. I've always been like this, or I've been like this for however many years, or I've never been able to lose weight, or I've never been able to lose weight and keep it off. Just because you spent a lot of time somewhere, that doesn't mean you have to stay there. I was actually listening to an audiobook and this thought really clicked for me. It actually kind of inspired this whole episode. And I wish I could tell you it was some deep self-development book, but nope. It was a thriller mystery. It was The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose. So one of the characters is getting divorced and someone asks how long she and her husband, soon to be ex-husband, have been together. And she says something like, it doesn't matter. Just because you've done something for a long time doesn't mean you should keep doing it. We all have different ways of keeping ourselves trapped, and I don't want that. Okay. That timepiece really clicked for me because I see this all the time with weight loss. People back out of goals because of the story. I've never done it before. I've always been this way. It doesn't matter how long you've done one thing. You could always make a change. Your past is not a fortune teller for your future. But the fear comes in, and it is a real fear, okay? So you're not silly or dumb for feeling this way. That real, legitimate fear comes in of what if I can't do it? And it usually comes in at that exact moment when you're closest to a breakthrough, like when you're going through something hard, that if you just make it through, you would be stronger and closer to your goal. But because we're scared, because we failed in the past and we don't want to feel that again, your brain jumps ahead and it says, we've never been able to do it before, so we're probably not going to do it now. And we quit. You never find out if you actually could. It's the same example I was talking about with dreaming and the vision boards. It's like that idea of, I'm going to judge myself first so it won't hurt as much if someone else does. That doesn't save you any pain. You end up feeling like crap now, just in case, and you feel like crap later if they do judge you. It doesn't make sense, but your brain will want to do this. And so if you hear this story, I've never been able to, and you just roll with it, well, of course you quit, right? I've never been able to, so why would I keep going? Why would I go through this hard thing? Why would I try to listen to my hunger cues? Of course you quit. And of course, that year feels just like every year before. But this belief doesn't actually protect you. It just quietly talks you out of trying. You are so freaking capable, and it would show if you gave yourself permission to let this one go. Second belief. I learned to eat this way as a kid. I've done this since I was a kid. I learned it as a child. That first belief keeps you stuck in the past. This one keeps you stuck in childhood. This one keeps you stuck as a little kid. And it is sneaky. It is so sneaky because it feels like a fact. And especially when you're a kid, you don't have a say in that, right? You learn these things from the people around you. I'm sorry, but I've got to call you out. Like, it's harder for me because my parents did XYZ. I was forced to clean my plate. We always had dessert before bed. Yes, that absolutely built some strong habits for you. Like when you're kids, like I said, you don't have a choice. We don't have the brain capacity to question what we're learning. We just absorb it. But you are an adult now. You do have the ability to question these habits. Just because you learned something doesn't mean it's unchangeable. If you learn to emotionally eat, like if food became safety or comfort, well, we can find other ways to support ourselves now. If you learn to clean your plate and now you feel guilty leaving food behind, ask yourself, do you want to keep guilt tripping yourself at every meal? Because here's the thing, you are the one doing that now. Your parents are not standing over your plate saying, think of the starving children. When you're on a date or when you're out with your friends, you are choosing to still do that. So this belief is just keeping you loyal to rules that don't help you anymore. Yes, you did learn them when you were young, but it's time to let them go if you don't want to keep them. Number 3, I just have a big appetite. Another one that sounds factual, but it's one of the most damaging. I'm just a big eater. I've always eaten this way. There's nothing I can do about it. You guys know this was one of my biggest ones. That is why I went high-carb, low-fat vegan for years, because that diet promised that I could eat as much as I wanted and still lose weight. So of course I chose that. I genuinely believed that I could not stop eating, and I was wrong. So if you have this story, you're wrong too. What's actually happening is usually a combination of your history with dieting, which left you feeling hungry and trapped, emotional hunger, and choosing foods that you think you should eat instead of what would satisfy you. That never satisfied feeling, that is emotional hunger. You're not still physically hungry, you're emotionally unsatisfied. So this belief, I'm just a big eater, I just always clean my plate, I always eat a lot, it keeps you disconnected from your body. You're not a big eater, you're a normal human who has hunger cues just like the rest of us. You've just been taught to ignore them. And side note with any of these, as you're listening, I want you to watch out for which of these feels a little uncomfortable. Like if there's one of these that you want to argue or defend against, like, no, that is true for me, that is usually the one doing the most damage, okay? So just keep that in mind as you're listening. And also know I'm coming from a place of love because guess who had all of these? Me. Every single one of these I've had to some level, some more than others. But y'all, I've worked through them and I see our Ready to Lose women do it all the time. So that's why I got to call you out with love, okay? Our fourth one, I can't trust myself. This one feels really heavy, right? I can't trust myself around food. I can't make good choices. I can't trust myself to choose something in the moment. I've seen these calorie counting reels going around recently where it says, if you've never been overweight, you don't get to tell me that I don't need tracking. Or if you've never been, this many pounds overweight in the McDonald's drive-thru, you don't tell me that I don't need calorie counting or something like that, right? And people can do what they want. I'm not their coach, okay? And maybe they love what they're doing. But when I hear that message, underneath that, seeing it outside, having worked on my own relationship with food and it literally being my job, what I hear is, you don't get it. I'm really someone who can't trust myself. And a lot of women connect with that. Who's told us that? Diet culture. It has told us our entire lives that we can't trust ourselves. And then when we try these restrictive plans and we can't follow them perfectly, that trust erodes even more. But trust is built through evidence, through showing up, through making one decision differently, through proving to yourself that you can handle this. And this belief, I can't trust myself, it turns every meal into a test that you feel like you're failing. And I will say, when it comes to trust, a little side note about trust, and I teach this and emphasize it a lot in our coaching programs, is that there are two sides to trust. Because you have a relationship with yourself, which might seem like there's just one person, you, right? But there's not. There's the version of you who is setting the goal, the expectation for yourself, and then there's the version of you who has to follow through. And if you want to trust yourself more, you also need to be someone who's trustworthy when you make your request. So here's what I mean. If you currently are just eating food day to day, you do have takeout each day, you aren't really listening to your hunger cues, or you always have a sweet treat before bed, whatever it is for you, if you currently have these habits and then you come in with a diet plan, you're coming in, I want to lose weight, and you're like, okay, no more ice cream for you. Meanwhile, you're having it every night. Again, this was me. No more ice cream because we're losing weight now. Okay, the version of me who has to follow through with that, who currently is having ice cream every night, no, that is so hard to do. So that also, it doesn't make sense. That also breaks your trust, is that when you make unreasonable requests of yourself, and it's not that it's unreasonable that you can't get to the point where you're not having ice cream every night. You totally can. But if you come in and expect that immediately, along with all the other habits that you're trying to put on yourself, of course you fall off. And of course you stop trusting yourself when you make a plan, when you say you're going to lose weight, when you say you're going to eat differently. You don't trust yourself on either side. I see myself not following through with what I say I'm going to do, and I keep making requests that I can't follow through with at this moment where I am right now. It's two-sided. Trust is two-sided. And it's not that you can't trust yourself. You totally can learn to trust yourself. You totally can figure it out. You don't want to put that judgment on yourself right away. What's actually happened is that a lot of diets have taught you to not trust yourself, have kind of put a wedge between you and you, that relationship with yourself. So if you want 2026 to feel different, that belief that you can't figure out how to trust yourself, that you can't build trust with yourself, has got to go. And this fifth one, maybe the most common one, if I stop controlling food, I'll lose control. This one usually shows up when people are afraid of losing progress. It is deeply tied to trust. So this goes hand in hand with number 4. But whenever someone tells me that I need to cut carbs, I need to get rid of snacks, I need stricter rules, that is fear talking. They're scared of weight gain. They're scared that they overate and they might do it again. They're scared of messing up. But grasping for control like that, putting more rules on yourself, thinking about, again, that relationship with you and you, it always leads to feeling more out of control. Think about it. The moment you say no more treats before bed, what happens? All you could think about are sweets. Maybe you start eating all the sweets. Restriction makes your cravings louder. So this belief keeps you stuck in restriction and then rebellion. Again, that's a big one with this. It's like that relationship with me. I've got to put more rules and regulations on myself. The more likely I am to want to rebel against that. The tighter the grip, the harder the snapback. This is why willpower never fixes overeating. Maybe you can do it for a day or two, but then you fall off and you feel like you've completely blown up your entire plan. So you don't need more control. You need more trust. You need to learn how to build trust. So if you're listening right now and you're thinking, okay, I do see myself in this. Okay, yes, there's a few of these that did kind of trigger me a little bit. That's not a bad thing. Okay, it's good to be aware because awareness is the first step to doing it differently. But here's the part I really want you to hear. Seeing these beliefs doesn't mean they will automatically go away. You don't just decide to stop believing I've always been like this. I can't trust myself. I'll lose control. They've been built over years. They definitely will come up again, especially, like I said, in those hardest moments of your journey, when you feel like you messed it all up, these beliefs will come in. They have been built for so long through dieting, through guilt, through starting over again and again. They don't just disappear with motivation or New Year's resolutions. They change through practice. And you don't have to practice this alone because this is exactly what we're doing inside Hungry Girl Bootcamp. It's not a program where I tell you what to eat. You have enough programs you've tried that have told you that. This is where I'm going to help you notice these beliefs in real time, question them when they come up, respond differently at meals, snacks, cravings, and those emotional moments while we learn to listen to your hunger cues. For 8 weeks, we're going to practice eating when you're actually hungry, stopping before full, and not panicking about it, not feeling restricted and deprived about it, handling emotional cravings without spiraling, rebuilding trust with yourself one decision at a time. Not perfectly, not forcefully, but consistently. So if you want 2026 to feel different, not just on paper, but in your body, your mind, and how you feel around food, this is where that change is going to happen. We start January 7th, so scroll down to the show notes and save your spot. And whether you join us or not, remember, you don't need a new version of yourself in 2026. You need to let go some of these beliefs that are holding you back, okay? You don't need to jump in with all the perfect affirmations or mantras. You need to be willing to question the stuff that really keeps getting in your way. Those beliefs do not belong with you in your next chapter. And you are allowed to let them go. I don't care how long you've been thinking them, how long you've been experiencing this. You can let them go at any time. So remember, you've totally got this. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Thank you for taking time today to listen in. If this helped you at all, be sure to share it with a friend so she can stop feeling stuck and start creating the health and self-love she deserves. Or post it to social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me get the message out. I am so excited to be on this journey with you. Keep showing up for you. You'll get there. Talk to you soon.